Alera's eyelids were perpetually heavy, stained a deep, bruised red from perpetual exhaustion. For the last 19 days, her life had been a manic cycle of caffeine, stale takeout, and the glowing screen of her monitor. The massive graphic design project she was racing to complete wasn't just a career milestone. It was the entire foundation of her small firm, financed by a crushing bank loan. The stress of that debt was a physical weight on her chest even when she was awake. That evening, her roommate, Naya, found her slumped over her desk. "Alera, look at yourself," Naya said, placing a warm mug of herbal tea next to the keyboard. "You look like a zombie from one of those late-night movies you used to watch. You'll never land this client if you're like this." Alera just groaned, pushing the mug away. "I know, Naya. Just one more render. I have to finish it tonight. If I lose this contract, I have no idea how I'll pay back the debt." Naya sighed, a look of profound worry crossing her face. "Please, just take an hour. Go to the bedroom." Part 2, the first freeze. When her awareness flickered back on, it was the dead of night. The bedroom was saturated in the ink-black darkness of the city at 3 a.m. She registered the shift immediately. She was awake, mentally sharp, but utterly and terrifyingly immobile. Every nerve ending screamed at her muscles to obey, but her body felt like a lead statue. Her eyes were the only things that worked, darting across the familiar yet suddenly menacing corners of the room. "Breathe, Alera, breathe. It's sleep paralysis. It will only last a minute. It's just your brain waking up faster than your body." She recited the mantra in her head, trying to anchor herself in reality. Then, from the far corner of the room, near the closet, she heard a sound. It was a slow, deliberate scrape, like brittle, dry leaves being dragged across the hardwood floor. It wasn't loud, but in the silence, it was deafening. The sound approached, stop and start, inching closer to her bed. A sharp, electric shock of pure panic seized her. She tried to cry out, tried to make any sound at all, but the muscles in her throat only allowed a strangled, pathetic gasp that was instantly swallowed by the darkness. Part 3, the collector's scrutiny. The scraping stopped directly at the foot of her bed. The air in the room instantly dropped several degrees, carrying a faint, musty scent, like old paper and damp earth. She strained her eyes through the gloom, and the figure materialized. It was a towering, unnaturally thin silhouette, draped in a heavy, charcoal gray coat that absorbed the weak ambient light. Its head was sunk low, overshadowed by a wide, antique hat. She couldn't see a face, only the oppressive, featureless void beneath the brim. Yet she felt the absolute certainty of its stare. It was cataloging her fear, assessing her worth. The figure, the collector, smoothly glided to the side of her bed. It knelt with slow, deliberate precision. Suddenly, a voice, raspy and dry like old parchment, echoed in her mind, not through her ears. "You thought you could simply run away? But no one can escape their reckoning, Alera." Her terror intensified. This wasn't a hallucination. It knew her name. "It knows my name." She squeezed her eyes shut, wishing herself back into true sleep, into oblivion. This isn't real. This is just a bad dream. A moment later, a terrifyingly cold touch pressed down on her. The collector extended a long, bony finger and gently, but firmly, pressed it against her throat. It wasn't a strangling pressure, but an icy, debilitating contact that felt like it was freezing the blood in her veins. The voice, closer now, a chilling whisper that seemed to scratch the inside of her skull, delivered its final warning. You owe the principal, and the interest will be your sleep. Part 4, The Debt of Wakefulness. The figure paused, the oppressive weight of its stare lingering over her. Then, with a slow, almost bored motion, it stood and silently dissolved back into the shadows near the doorway. The paralysis instantly shattered. Alara lunged upright, letting out a guttural, choked scream. Her heart jackhammered against her ribs. She scrambled out of bed, her limbs trembling violently, and sprinted to Naya's room. Naya, wake up. The collector. He touched my throat. She hyperventilated, shaking her roommate awake. Naya immediately flipped on the light and embraced Alara, who was sobbing uncontrollably. It's okay, Alara. Look, you're fine, Naya murmured, patting her back. There's no one here. You were just having a night terror. You were muttering about the debt and the interest.